Welcome to Infinifactory, a game where we've been put into, we've been put into a cell, a very blocky, very cell-shaded kind of like environment. Yes, it's a game that's been out for a few years now. I haven't really covered on the channel before, but I have played it myself personally. It's from Zachtronics, and it's a puzzle game. And Zachtronics pretty much only do puzzle games. If you don't know who Zachtronics are, they originally created Infiniminer, which was the game that went on to inspire Minecraft. They've also done other games like Magnum Opus, Space Chem, Shenzhen IO, and this, Infinifactory. So, hey, I was reminded of this as I was just going through some factory work in Satisfactory, just scaling things up and such. So I thought, well, why don't we cover this for an episode? It's a puzzle game. I like covering these occasionally. They are a little bit of fun and also quite frustrating. Now, the sort of the selling point of Infinifactory is not only that it's a puzzle game, but it compares it against your Steam friends. Now, because I'm playing on the Gradaster account, I don't have any Steam friends showing. It's just a separate account for that. But if you have friends who also play the game, they'll show up and you'll be compared to them. Unfortunately, as the case may be, depending on who you are. Anyway, let's get started with viewing the puzzles. When you first start the game up, it's going to show you usual kind of sort of tutorial kind of stuff, looking around, placing blocks. I'll go through that with you in a second. Let's just go and look at the puzzles first. So you'll see there are these categories on the left-hand side. First one is Proving Grounds. So basically the most basic possible puzzles, if you like. So we'll get through those hopefully pretty quickly and we'll move on from there. So first of all, Training Routine 1, Create New Solution. Let me just turn that music down a touch. It's a little bit loud. There we go. Okay, so what do we get to do here? We have 3 inputs and 3 outputs. These are the outputs, and these are what it actually wants in that output. Now, you might think, well, there's one here, one here, one here, 3 inputs. We just route this one to that one, this one to that one, this one to that one. Not quite. In fact, let me just turn down the mouse look sensitivity a little bit as well. It's a little bit fast. So yeah, that's not quite, because if you have a look here, this is the input, and that's the output. That's the same in the case of the middle one. However, in the case of the left one, this output is for this. And this input is for that one. So we can't just basically route them straight outwards. So we've got to do a little bit changing around. So if we have a look here at the bottom left, it's letting us place conveyors, and because it's the very first sort of puzzle, you can't really do much else. So we'll just get that done. To place blocks, you can just left click. To remove them, you right click. And then once they're placed, you can rotate them with Q and E. And you can click and drag to drag these around. Now you can maybe see why I was reminded of this when I was playing Satisfactory. Let's bring out that music a little bit more. Satisfactory and indeed Fortress Craft Evolved and games like that, they're all very similar to this. This just happens to be more of a puzzle game than like a survival game. Anyway, let's get started. This one is easy enough to route. This one will just go this way. Okay, and that will route things successfully. The others, well, we've got to do a bit of working. So here we're going to route this over to that corner. So we're just going to head this all the way to the end. And then I'm just going to go back over here for a second. Oh, and you can also use your space bar to basically turn on the jump pack and control to go back down again. Shift lets you select various different tools. We've only got the conveyor and area select for the moment, so that's fine. And let's just bring that over here. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate that one and then rotate this one. Okay, so that's that one done. And then this final one, well, we've run out of space, haven't we? Yep, we've run out of space. We can't go around back here. We can't go through, or we can't remove these blocks. It won't let us remove them. So this is where you kind of have to realize that it is a freeform building game. So you can just basically decide to build one on top of another and then remove the bottom block. There's no real physics reason why you shouldn't in this particular game. So there, we're able to then move this all the way over. Okay, and at this point, it is gonna, well, we can drop it down at any particular point after that. So I can drop it down right here. And do that. So it'll drop down there, drop down again, and keep on going. At this point, you can run the simulation, and you get points based on how long it takes and all kinds of different mechanisms. But for now, let's just run the simulation. And you'll see Hopefully, that's exactly what we want to happen. Speed it up, hold F. Okay, so you'll see here there is, seemingly, if you have a look at this, the best possible, that mine is 53, and that was also my best, but there are different score categories. So cycles is the number of, it's like the number of steps, if you like, that it takes. So i.e. how long did it actually take. Footprint, so how large are your actual puzzle blocks, etc. And block score, presumably the number of blocks. Okay, so looks like in these are the cases we may be able to get a little bit better in both cycles, footprint, but not really so much in terms of blocks. I mean, there's very little, let's just go here again. There's very little we can actually do to reduce the number of blocks potentially here. Yeah, that's a good thing. Is there anything I can actually do at all? Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter how much I actually change things. I can increase decrease this score, which is the best, i.e. left is better than right, to 44 cycles, which is the best, looks like it's the best possible. Not sure how this block score is able to get below 44 in order to get these to the various places, but that's going to work fine. The reason why you can get down to the 44 is just by inputting the maximum input rate, i.e. the rate at which it feeds blocks into the system. That's going to become more important when you have to depend on timing of various blocks that are rotating in and out, but we'll go to that anyway. Continue to the cell, and let's get on with the second puzzle. So easy, or should be fairly easy again. Create a new solution. Okay, and view block list. So we have a few blocks. We have welders, we have platform blocks, and conveyors. Good. Oh, and we get portal-like sort of instructions from our overlords who have imprisoned us in this cell. So yeah, who knows what to do with these things. But if you put two welders next to each other, it will snap them together. And our overlord really likes that you've snapped two things together with a welder. So it wants you to weld two blocks together. Okay, and you can see here is where it wants you to actually deliver them to. So yeah, we're going to need to figure out how to connect those. So why don't we try this first? We've got one input on either side of each different type, and thankfully they are the same sides, otherwise this might become a bit of a problem. So they're coming in on each side, and then we can probably just select a welder, and we can probably rotate that like this. And there is our two welders, and then of course we can just go back, change the conveyors, and feed these in. Feed them in like that, and then this side as well. And at this point is where I'm hoping that these won't immediately get taken. What I want to actually try, however, is to see whether we need both sides. I want to save on blocks to get better score if possible. So let me just see whether that's doable. And if not, then we just add some extra ones in there. So input rate, let's see what happens. And again, I'm just running them on the standard rate. So, okay. So I'm just going to go and go all the way through. Okay, you can see there is a cycle score. We can get lower than this. The block score seems to be 31 blocks, but I think if we play again, I can get rid of these three because it doesn't need them to actually work. So why don't we try it again? And then I'm also going to try upping the input rate to maximum, and let's see if we can actually beat our score. So R. Okay, now 44, which is down here, so this is the best one possible. Looks pretty much like. Nearly best on footprint. Maybe we can make one more saving, and then block score is again pretty good as well. So save 3 blocks and continue to sell. Great. Now here's where your friends' scores would be if you want to compete against them if you're playing the game. But looks like otherwise we've got some new blocks to actually play with. So platforms, yes, and welders, those are just explanations. So I guess we got to combine them in puzzle training routine 3. Okay, this one looks fairly straightforward. What it's actually going to try and basically ask us, I don't think there's anything. Oh wait, we've got got another failure log. One of these was in the earlier tutorial, but it was basically someone thinking that they were in a dream and time to wake up, so they threw themselves off something and unfortunately died. Why don't we play the failure log?
God damn it! What do you want? Take me home!
So people going mad. Yeah. Typical puzzle game. So what it's basically saying in this puzzle is that we can cause a sort of delay in these, waiting for items until, or get 3 items in a row by putting 2 platform blocks down, and the third one will come along and hit them, which will get it to get picked up by the next conveyor outwards. So let's give that a go and see whether this actually will indeed work. So platform, let's just put a couple of those down, and then 1 conveyor. They won't go that way, and then going this way. Okay, and let's run that and let's see whether it wants that, or whether we need to actually weld them as well. So in they come. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Nope. So it looks like we are going to need to weld them, or yeah, keep them together basically. Fine. Okay, let's stop them and think about what we need to do here. So we need to weld the first 2 together, and indeed the third one together when the other ones come in. So why don't I just put down a few blocks? So platform blocks and welders. Okay, now will they actually work like that? That's interesting. Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. So block 1 comes in. Okay. And let's speed it up. Okay, now looks like that is already pretty good. All I'm going to do is up the input rate all the way to maximum, play it, and let's see whether this is fast enough to keep up. There we go. That's not quite as fast as it can be for some reason. That's interesting. And also we can save some blocks somewhere. Oh, in fact, I know how we can play it. Let's save blocks, yes. Now we can save blocks. We can take those back out. Yeah, that'll do it. But how about cycles? We're at the maximum input rate, so I don't see how we can actually get this to go any faster than it already is. Huh. Nope, I can't think of any way of doing that unless we can actually do this with just conveyors. Like that. But I don't think that's how it would work. We can't do that. Okay, yeah, I know why. Basically, it turns on physics simulation as soon as you actually get into the game. So we can't do that. What I think we can actually maybe do, what can we put the welders this way up? Nope, looks like we can't. So we are going to need those blocks. You know the blocks that I said we didn't need? Yeah, guess we're going to need them. Fine. Okay, I will leave that alone for the puzzle. I'll see if I can make any improvements. I can make it a little bit better, but let's see if you can actually get it even better. Put down in the comments below if you can, and put screenshots in, of course, if you want to. But yeah, we only need 1 block underneath 2 of these. We don't need 3, and we only need 1 block here because it won't fall down. Because as soon as the second one moves across, they'll be welded together, so it can't fall down. And then when the next one comes in and pushes it across, the one side will be onto that, and then everything works. So if I just pull that in. There you can see the footprint is as small as I can get it. The block score, I can't see a way of getting any less blocks than that. Cycle score, apparently still people are getting faster than that, but not very many, so I will leave that alone for now. Okay, number 4. And interesting, we've got two different inputs here. I'm wondering whether they're coming at the same time. So it's going to hit right here, and we need to basically weld them. Okay. And weld them one above another. Is there anything around the back? Oh, there's another one of our, yep, another one of our failure logs.
No more. No, I'm not going back. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'll just stay here. They can't make me go back. They can't make me go back. I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going back. I'm done.
So I'm just going to try putting them like this, and let's see if that actually works. And then we'll, of course, we'll put we'll see how they actually fall down in a second. But let's just put the conveyor there, and actually let's rotate that. And how are they going to come out? Yeah, that's not gonna work. So what we're gonna need to do is let's just reset that. We need them to stop long enough to be welded, but vertically this time, not horizontally. So for this one, I think we're gonna need a little bit of a sort of intermediary platform. So let's just put a platform down. Let's put it there as before. And we're going to do this this way, I think. At least let's give this a go. The welders. Let's put the welder down and the welder down here. There we go. So what's going to happen is one's going to fall down. It's going to drop onto this platform. The next one is going to go down and get pushed onto the top, at which point they both get welded. The next one down is going to be back to the first one again, which will then push everything else off this platform. Oops, not the welder. I want the conveyor. So hopefully this is going to work. We'll see. So that's one. And number two. Welded. And there we go. Speed it up. That's a lot of cycles happening. Okay, so clearly our footprint is pretty good. Block score can be slightly better, it looks like. And then cycle score can be half of this. But you see, most people have got this exact solution that I've got. And here's the problem with raising the input rate. Okay, you see what the problem is? They're all the same ones. If I lower that input rate again, if I just bring it down to, let's say, why don't we just bring it up to +3, so higher than normal. What's the actual maximum rate where they stay alternate? So if we just start them. And, oh, maybe. Yeah, that is about the maximum rate, it looks like. Any faster, and that next block will come through and actually go down. So we'll just increase the speed here again. And let's see whether this actually gets us any better. So yeah, you can see we've improved the cycle score, not the footprint or the block score or anything else. Do be aware that you can't get all three of these all the time on the same solution. Sometimes you require different solutions, one for cycles, one for footprint, one for blocks, etc. Onto the cell. And puzzle number 5. Oh, we got another person over here. Got any new blocks? No new blocks. Okay. Okay. Oh. And it's a dog basically in a spacesuit. Poor thing. Oh. Anyway, we've got to combine blocks here and we've got to combine blocks here. There's 3 of them coming in and we're now going to weld 3 of them together rather than 2. Bit more annoying, but I guess we can actually do that just by maybe welding. We got to get them all arriving at the same time, I suppose, but can we actually get them done in any way that makes this easy? If we're going to make it so they get delayed by 1, I'm going to have to choose an axis to get delayed. So let me build something up. So here was what I've come up with briefly. We don't have to put the welders connected like this. We can put them straight across from each other, although in fact that's probably how you have to do this one. So you've got 2 blocks coming in. They do not come together at the same time. This one will take one block longer, 1 conveyor longer to get there. So this one's going to arrive first and stop here. The second one's going to come in. They're both going to get welded together, which is what that's actually asking for. Then they're going to be processed out onto this block where it'll stop and then wait, because that block will take even longer to get here. And when it gets to here, the 3 will be welded together. And because this block arrives last, everything will get pulled that way and then get shifted over by 1 block to take it to exactly where this wants it. So let's get this started, and you'll see what happens. So that block comes in, stops, gets welded, stops, and the next one comes in. There we go. Now you can't increase this by any input rate whatsoever. It stops working if you do. Trust me, I tried. But I haven't let this run till the end, so let's just run it till the end and see what it gives us for the result. Okay, looks like we are hitting the most popular solutions in all cases, so there are ways to get higher cycles. Maybe we have to come back once we have better blocks to get better cycles. I'm not sure on that front. Footprint seems to be ideal, and block score, perhaps we can save a few blocks, but not very many. So yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Okay, onward to the cell. Performance review. Here are our alien overlords. We get a trophy. Kangaroo Kickers 09. If you had fun, you won. And we're back down in our trophy again. Well, I know I have to sell even. That's the toilet. So let's just put this in the sink, and we get some food pellets. Food pellets. They look like Whatsits, except less palatable, and that's saying something, because Whatsits are like those packing foam things you get in boxes. Anyway, there we go. Performance review done, and we opened the second set of puzzles. And here is the first puzzle in that new set. I'm not going to go too much further. I want to see what you guys think before I do play too many more of these, but let me know in the comments below what you think, and we'll see where we go from there, especially if you want to like the video, etc. Now, in this next set of puzzles, we now get sensors and pushers. So this one thing on the left is a sensor, this is the pusher, I imagine like a piston in Minecraft or similar kind of things. Whenever the sensor gets triggered, you can send it down there and then the pusher basically take over. So we can connect them with conduit, and there seems to be 2 different types of sensor. Not sure what they do just yet, but hey, we'll get those going. And can we add these to our hotbar? Looks like we can. So conveyors, welders. We're not going to need welders just yet, but let's just put that welder down, another sensor, and the pusher, and some conduit. Okay, you can see them all the time now. Good. And then this first puzzle, presumably, hopefully, will be an easy one. Whoops. We're going to want to basically put stuff this way. Okay, and we're just going to rotate you. Okay, and the boxes are going to come out of here, and they're going to hit this wall, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. So we're going to need to basically push the block. So why don't we just set up a sensor, and let's see what this actually does. Doesn't tell me what either of those do. Let's just put a couple of platform blocks down, and we know we need a pusher block, so we're going to put a pusher block here. Good, and we can probably connect these sensors right to it. So let's connect one. Does it really matter what side this is connected to? Presumably not. And let's see what happens. That's not good. So maybe now? No, it's still just basically immediately doing that. So why don't we just put in another platform block, get rid of you, and then let's put this here and some conduit. Okay. Is that like a negative block? Why don't we just put this one instead? Yeah, okay, so it looks better. Why don't we just basically restart it now? That is not doing... That's not doing anything. That explanation does no good up there on that sign. In fact, yeah, the sign actually probably does do some good. I think the red side is the actual detector side. Yeah, it is on the sign. It's just me. So why don't we just get that going? Yep, there it goes. So let's just stop that for a second, and I'm just going to take those back off again, and let's see if we can save some blocks. So let's just put in a detector there, and will this drop down if I do that? Guess not. But it won't reset because there's no time in between this and that. So let's just get that to allow it to reset. Yep. Good. And that should just all go in. Good. So minimum blocks, absolute minimum. Minimum footprint. But cycles, we can maybe play it a bit faster. So why don't we just try upping our input rate well, to max. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so I guess that won't work. Let's just try slightly faster. No, that won't work either. Can we actually... we need that space in between these, so I don't see any way of actually getting that to be any faster in terms of cycles. Huh. Do you? Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I think we're just going to play the initial set of puzzles in this first and the second series, and then you can obviously have time to comment yourself and decide whether you want to see more of this game or not. Otherwise, as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching the channel. Feel free to check out the other videos on there, and as usual, you can subscribe, click on the bell for notifications for future episodes of this and many other games. And this has been Infinifactory. As always, thanks for watching.